angel food.
666 on boats, my rich on purple dope. 666 on boats, my rich on purple dope. I spit dragon venom from hell into the heavens. Which girl led the vixen? Most poisonous of kissing. Liquid smoke be dripping. Hop into the hippin'. Pop rap Vegas hitting. I'm hot purple, they trippin'. Doctors, they be scrippin'. Slay bank money printing. Wall Street stock be hitting. The wet, the sweat is dripping. How many pills they taking? The banker smells like bacon. In road pedophiles be hanging. In Greek words I be slanging. Hot fire tracks banging. Babylon's vaping. Honey on the radio. The man who left to the mall. Pennywise. With the indica and adult surprise. All night in the cold. Make you feel alright. Sleeping tight. Make you see the light. Venus. Medusa's coming right. Athena, snake venom in your eyes.
Welcome back to Lady Babylon. This is Initiating Apocalypse, and I have something for you tonight. I ripped a hole in space and time, and we are going back to the temple. We're going back to the heart of the monist cult that rose out of a people who migrated from Crete and called themselves Hebrew. We're going to look at the temple of this cult in Jerusalem. You say, what happened in that temple? What happened in that temple? Get your splash bags ready tonight. Get your splash bags ready. Because we are going to have to go in so close, it's going to get us defiled just to be there. Okay. All right, people. This is a serious assignment tonight. This is a serious assignment, so I want you to be ready for this. Now, in all of our professionality, we're going to, as our ship gets ready here, I want you to know we're going to go into the text and I'm going to show you what is going on in the temple. It turns out the temple in Jerusalem is a place of human sex trafficking. Now, I know that's what Jesus himself called it. And everybody said, yes, you remember? He was pissed. Why? His mommy was one of those girls. And Gangsta G went in and kicked over all the tables in the temple. All those tables that they were using for the collection of the prostitution fees. Oh, fantastic. I see there's a business going on. So it's Jesus himself who's recognizing the authority. And for those of you who want to go to the Gospel of Matthew and you want to look at it in the Greek, you'll see that Jesus goes in, busts things up and says, "You've made my Father's house a den of child traffickers." Mary is our lens tonight. I want you to look at the world through the eyes of a little girl. We're going to be looking at the world through the eyes of a little girl. Where are we going to find this little girl? This is the mother of Jesus. Leave that up for a second. I want you to appreciate, people, this is the daughter of Joachim and Anna. And she is a very special girl. She is a very special girl. Do you know who found her special in the temple? Come here, Jehovah. Come here, Jehovah. We aren't even at one source. We aren't even at one source, and I'm already spanking you because I'm showing your people who they are. Do you understand this? Listen to me. Listen to me, you followers of Jesus. Come here. Come here, Jehovah. Come here. Are you ready? Show me your backside like you did Moses. That's what you get from the devil. That's what you get from the devil. I'm going to show you what they're doing in the temple of Jerusalem. And it's dirty, dirty stuff, and you're not going to like it. It's inhumane. Remember our context. This is the first BC, first Anno Domini. We're in that range. Where am I going to find Mary? Mary, where can I summon Mary? Right out of the Gospel of James. Did you know James had a gospel and all the Christians go, oh, that is not canonical? Do you hear how they're trained by theologians? Later theologians. Classicists don't do that. Can you imagine if I did that and I was like, oh, you know what? I hate Homer. We're just not going to talk about Homer anymore. I'll talk about all the other authors, but I hate Homer. Why? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just, it's not from the canon. I'm just going to exclude it. You can't just, do you hear how unscientific that is? Do you people understand of the congregation of Satan? Do you understand? This is the mindset that destroys education. Are you ready? Are you ready to see it in fruition? Let's follow it through the eyes of a young girl. And when I say young, I mean young. Now I want you to go with me because they're going to say her age and people are going to be, oh, go with me to you know what I want you to do? I want you to go with me to a party. Bring up that party. Let's ease people into this, Chewy. Are you ready? Dache. What is that dache? Oh, God, look at this. It's a receptacle. It's a receptacle. What the heck? You know what I'm celebrating? Give me the next one. I'm celebrating the birth of a daughter. The birth of a daughter. And I am going to go down to my Leestes priest. And I am going to make sure that all the omens are right. I'm going to get fumigated and I'm going to watch his petalon. Now, what are you talking about? What are these different terms you're bringing in? I'm describing to you the foundation of the cult that is operating at the temple. These are from direct accounts. So I'm giving you kind of the lexical foundation. There are in the Gospel of James that was kicked out because it's naughty. In the Gospel of James, and when I mean naughty, I don't mean like naughty, like, this is some kind of perverted thing. I don't mean that. I mean, the Gospel of James is naughty because the secrets are right in front of you. Nothing is concealed. You would never put this thing out. It's like the plan. Did we let that thing slip? Where did that thing go? 2025. Where is it? Yeah. Here's the plan. James is too in your face, and it perfectly meshes stylistically with the Gospel of Mark. When was it written? Same time the other Gospels are written. Okay? There's no reason this document should not be part of our evidence, right? Let's see what happens in the temple. Let's see what happens. Give me the next one. I'm going to flash these things up. Now here, I give you a text here. Here's from the Gospel of James. Yeah. Ean kurios o theos hidlaste moi, to petelan tu hieros faneron moi poiese. What is this dude doing that we've jumped into the middle of? Everybody who came off the time ship, we're here at the Temple of Jerusalem. We're right in the middle. We just barged our way in. Why? We can do that. We can do that. And here we are. We're in some kind of ritual. What are they doing here? Yeah, dude's sacrificing. And he's watching the plates as he sacrifices, as he is fumigated. And you're going to notice all of a sudden, pop, pop, pop. People start hearing voices when they do this. People start hearing voices. You know, Jesus wasn't the only one. Jesus was not the only one hearing voices. It is central to the mystery to hear the voice of God. If you are not hearing the voice, give me the next one. If you are not hearing the voice, you got nothing. Where does it say they're doing that, by the way? Where's the location there, the actual location? It's the thusiasterion. It's the thusiasterion. So what is that? That is the place that we fumigate. Sometimes it's just a tent with an altar on the inside of it, burns and fills the place with smoke. And you go in, and after a while, you hear the voice of God. Do you know what we should do? In order to get these women, we should take a little kid when she's 3. Yeah. We should put her right next to that fumigator. And we should raise her. We should raise her. Now, is Jerusalem the only place doing this? No, Jerusalem's not the only place doing this, people. And that's where the classicist has no problem. Priesthoods. You dedicate your children to temples all over the place. What are they doing in the temples of Aphrodite? Everybody says, oh, did you feel that? Somebody in England who's really prudish just got a shiver up her spine and a little cosmic boop. Did you feel that? I felt that. I'm with you there. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Yes, you have ears to hear if you've been through the initiation, right? It's fantastic. But isn't this lovely tour of the temple, ancient temple in Jerusalem? Isn't this lovely? Let's see what else they're doing. Remember, it's not odd to give your child up, right? It's considered a thing of honor. You're giving. First of all, they're going to be educated. She has skills by the time she's 12 where they need something done, a technical art, and they have to get her to do it. Isn't that something? You didn't know that about Mary, did you? First of all, you didn't know she was a working woman. You thought she stayed at home and one day, who is it? It's God. What do you want? You found favor in my eyes, baby. Next thing you know. Give me the next source. Let's keep flying. This is James. It's all the, I just wanted you to see. Oh, here, actually, this is the word for husband, right? No, this is the word for drinking, right? No, this is the word for husband or paramour. No, this is the word for drinks. Yes, it is both. Right? Right? What is it that Mary must do? Oh, God. Are you ready? We're going to see how she services the temple. Now, everybody, just have a seat. Let the fumigation work. Here we are. Sit down on that throne. Let's watch Mary do her thing. I bet you $10 she dances. Why? Because they're all doing that. Once you've been to these pirates' temples, You notice patterns, things they all do. You didn't know. Let me say this very clearly to you tonight. You didn't know the history of Judaism, that monist religion. You didn't know it because you didn't know the temple in Jerusalem was a place for sex trafficking of children. Yeah. It happens all over the Mediterranean. Happens all over. Romans are there to clean it up, baby. Did you notice that? They took the whole thing down. Was there a special dislike of what happened there? There was. Prophet. Follow the prophet. Right? The Greeks are the ones that tell us that. Follow the prophet. Give me the next one. Okay, people. I know it's a dark place we're going to. Kind of sad, but what are we going to do? We're going to take Mary and we're going to put her 3 steps away from that thusiasterion. And what did the Lord do then? Okay, we took the girl. Well, I'm sorry. I invited you to a party. The party was for the birth of that kid, Mary. Now we're going to go to her 3rd birthday. And Daddy, Joachim, says, hey, give her to the temple. Okay? So they do. All right. And what happens? They take her. She's just a little kid. And they put her next to that thusiasterion, right? And what happens? Jehovah gives her Charis. You know what Charis is? Okay, now here's where you got to pull out your gloves. Pull out your gloves. Charis is what Aphrodite is surrounded by. It is the power and the draw of attraction. It is a charm. And God gave it to a 3-year-old. Mary is in the temple. And what does she do? Let's show him what she does. You don't want to find out. I know you don't. Because you can't come back after this. You'll never look at her the same. I am cursing you for all time to see the reality through the lens of a 3-year-old. Oh my God. Do you know what she was? She took her way under the hand of the angel. That means nothing to you. Maybe you heard an echo of something in there. Right? These are virgins. They call them Hebrew virgins. What are we raising? Hebrew virgins. We're doing the same thing that all the temples are doing. These are Hebrew virgins. Are you ready for this? It's good. You mean Jesus's mother was a holy prostitute? Do you know Medusa was the most beautiful priestess of Athena? And it was God who came in and bananaed her. And she lost her priesthood when she became pregnant. Okay. Do you know where we are? Okay, just wait. It's more. And by the way, people, this is the Bible. Right now, it's the unaccepted Bible. And I just want to pause for a minute. And I want to tell people, I want to ask the satanic congregation a question, because I am I'm working mentally on a children's Bible that is a graphic novel. I think it would be fantastic to take these texts and to give them to your average, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old, so that they could look at it and they could see the Bible for exactly what it is. Every chapter will be through the lens of the Marys and the kid that was with Jesus in the garden and the Daniels. Every chapter will be through the lens of the trafficked. Oh, tell me, Satanic congregation, shall this continue? Shall this continue? Will you beg me, Satanic congregation? Beg me to do this. How much? I'm going to spank you, every one of you, until you give me good responses. Give me good responses. Joey, are they? No, give me more. You're sitting there. I can see you. Look, all I'm going to do is take this and move this a little and... Oh, God. Did they give it? Did they give? I suppose. You suppose? Have I not taught you anything, my congregation? Yes, you want it. Of course you want it. You want them to take it and put it in the school systems so that the children can see the reality that is this Bible. Did you think you were just watching this for us? This is education for the world. Oh, God, I love it. I love it. Let's see more. Let's see. Give it to us. I'll give it to you. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, they know. They know. Oh, God, it feels so good. And what is she doing there? 3 steps away. So you got to think about her over time. What is she doing in the temple? She's kate choreose. Are you kidding me? She's making the chorus. She is dancing and singing. Yup. What did you think girl prostitutes do? Do you remember Salome? Yes. Yes, you do. What is she doing? And she's not only doing a chorus, but she's doing it tois posen. Now you're going to ask yourself, oh my God, what is she dancing with? All you Greek nerds, I love you all. Oh, I love you. So exciting. Look at the date of here. What is she doing? She's using drinks. She's using potions, or she's using dudes. Personally, I think most people are amenable to the whole drugged potion thing that she's using, right? What happened? What happened to her? They loved her. They loved her. Everybody in Israel loved her. Have you seen her? Have you seen Mary? Okay. Now, for people who have a problem with Mary becoming very popular, I'm sorry. But she was. It's what the text says. Look, I'm just here to show you what the text says. That's all. Give me the next one. What is this word? Oh, here. Yeah, here just to show you. Here's the husband, spouse. We did the flippo. Give me the next one. What is this? It's a drug, people. She's working with the drugs. It's the whole deal. What? She's going to get to be 12 in a second. And when she gets to that age, this girl has been fumigated for at least 9 years straight. Exposed to the drugs. What does she do? She does a very nice dance that we all love. And she does it with drugs. This is no different. I can take you to Cyprus and give you the exact same thing. Do you know what is the status of her family? I know some of you would want to know this. Mary is a rich girl. She's not only a rich girl, she's an exceptionally rich girl. Okay. Very explicit. Very explicit. Her donation to the temple is the highest compliment. Right? She is that high blood. They even make a big deal about it. When the dude comes up and accepts her, he's all kissy kissy. He's like, look, where's she from? Oh, seed of David. Oh, what is this? We're going to have to roll out the royal treatment. Where do you think these prostitutes come from? Remember, who have we all just been serving? We've all just been serving Dionysus and Aphrodite. If you're an Arab, that's who you worship. If you're a Cretan who immigrated to the Levant, and you create this monism, worshiping Yahoo, this is your temple practice. If you are an early Christian performing the mysteries, this is your temple practice. Give me the next one. Julie, this is people. It's going to be people. I'm sorry. It's going to stretch your conception of how the world should be. Right. And oh yeah. Okay. I want you to look at the second line. E de Mariam osei peristera nemomene in toinaoi kuriu. What happened? She was taken. She was placed next to the fumigator. She's taught to dance, to give us a great show. And she is raised as a pigeon, a dove. Wait, you mean this temple in Jerusalem is using the same titles for ritual prostitutes that the temples are all over the Aegean and in Greek? It's using the same word. Yes, they called the temple prostitutes the doves. Why do you think Aphrodite's always walking around followed by this trail of doves? Why do you think every time you see a dove, it's the symbol of Aphrodite? You know, they're milking them. That's what they call the virgins. They are milking virgins. You have no idea. You have no idea what it takes pharmacologically to keep a child prostitution ring at this level, where you have pulled in the leaders of the state. Yeah. Now you're going to say, what is all the purple? You're looking at the girl. Here she is, Mary. Hey, Mary. How you doing, Mary? This is 12-year-old Mary, right? And what is 12-year-old Mary called upon to do? She's called upon to make the curtain of the temple. Why do you need a curtain of the temple? Why do you think? Right? It's the glory. It's the glory. In that passage, did you see what they were doing? Mary, tell us. I guess you're over here. Mary. Hello. Does it work? Am I more this way? Did I stick my head into it? Okay. There we go. Right there. Mary, I summoned thee. And I ask you, Mary, how did they raise you? In what way? As I have followed the priestesses of the Greeks, Mary, tell me, in what way did they raise you? Give me that last reference that we had. It's in there on the very end. Look, people, what does it say? Kai elambani trophen. She received trophy from the hand of an angel in the temple, right? In the temple. This young girl who starts off at 3, ends up at 12 when they kick her out. Right? From those stages, she receives the way through the hand that is angelic. She receives the way. The virgin follows the way of the hand of the angelic. God, it's always that. Why is it always that? Do you know how you train? Do you know how you train if you were a first century lace days? Do you know how you train? By the laying on of hands. By the laying on of hands. She is not being fed. They would have you believe that the dude was a chef, the angel for the little girl. He was a chef right inside the temple there. Gave her food. Right? Gave her what? Her food. Trophy is a way of nourishment. It's a way of bringing someone to fruition. Right? It's a woman's cult word. Where does she get it? She gets it from the hand. Okay. Now, why is this necessary? Because remember, we're making, like, step out for a minute, right? Take your splash bags off and say, oh, God, it's too much. I can't shower, right? I got to, oh, God, my radar, my badge is going off. I got radiation here or something, right? Step out for a minute, step back and look at what's going on. Okay, just stop for a minute. We're not going to go any further. I just want you to process this just for a second. Okay. They are using the drugs to turn the kid into a dispensary of communion. That's what we all come for. All right? We're all here at the temple. That's why. What you have to do is the Marys of the world have to be trained. Now do you understand some of the feelings that Jesus had when he comes up against this part of the gang, right? They're all aware of who he is and everything. Don't worry. They all know that. Follow the money. Give me the next one. Okay, let's go back in. Another deep dive. What? So what happens? Mary, this says Mary turns 12. Right? She turns 12 and they get all the priests get together and they have a meeting about her. She's 12. What happens? They say, look, now that she's working, now that she's got those, those tag unikon, the, things women do, right? It's not a simplistic way of saying menstruation, right? It is a way of saying this unit is now productive. Okay. She can produce children. And I can tell you umpteen accounts of priestesses getting pregnant and getting kicked out. Okay. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. It's divine, baby. It's divine. You know what they say it is? It's the God. It's the God that does it. Who made her pregnant? Joseph is like, who made her pregnant? Did you know Eve is 12? And the Gospel of James says that. Eve is 12. Just like Mary. Now you know why the Garden of Eden is that place where your eyes are open. Okay. If you want to be a member, of this ancient cult, yeah, you got to go there. You got to go there. Right? Crucify him. Now you know. Most people, this is not cool. Big crowd. Crucify him. How about this murderer? Let's crucify him and give you Jesus. He'll go free. No. Crucify him. There is a movement against it. You know what I mean? If you want to know what that real Judaism is, it is that reaction to Jesus as traffickers themselves. Yeah. You mean our monist religions come out of the abuse of children? Yep. Your monism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, you all come from the abuse of children. This is your actual history. Give me the next one. People don't, I'm just going to keep going. People never believe me. People never believe me until it's too late, right? So what do? These priests have a meeting. They're like, what do we do with Mary now that she's capable of producing? So here's a solution. Have Knucklehead put on his regalia with all the bleep, bleep, bleep and the shiny, shiny hoo-ha and go in there into the holy place where those angels and voices are. Yeah. And then you can ask God, right? You can ask God, what do we do? Now, it sounds like they don't know what they're doing, but they are doing something they always do. They enlist the lestes in an act of sortes. That's what they're doing. Go in, use the sortes, right? We'll have an answer. What happens to her? Right? Do you know they only give these priestesses their positions according to lot? Right? They go in the temple, they fucking get all incubated. Oh, I'm sorry, Chewy. Did you hear? I guess just get worked up. And what happens? They go in, and there are the prostitutes, and they give them lots. They give them lots of what they're going to do. Who gets to work with the drugs? Mary. Mary gets to work with the drugs. You want to know why people were saying in antiquity, are you the Christ? Are you the Christ? Are you the Christ? Are you the Christ? That's a drug term. People knew what it meant. Yeah, they knew what it meant. And God was saying things like, if you want to follow me in the apocalypse, you got to Christ your eyes, baby, so that they can be open and you can see. Okay? So when the person in the 3rd century is writing what you call the Old Testament, which is the Septuagint, when that person is writing it, they're only writing it because those cults are doing those exact same things. Yeah. Fantastic detail. Look at the detail that you get of this pirate operation, right? Now, are you wondering? Probably not anymore. You're not wondering why Abraham in the Septuagint is called a pirate. Right? Good. Okay. The Temple of Jerusalem. Let's keep going. Give me another text. Let's see what else they're doing. What did I bring in? Oh yeah, they all have. So here's what happens. He goes in and talks to God, and he hears, "Ha!" Shit. It scares them all. By the way, Mary's like, when she first starts hearing voices, it scares her, and she like runs away. Right, and then she realizes she can't get away from them. Right. So here's the deal. They sent out, this is a pretty funny text. They sent out heralds, right? Because it's a big deal, right? After all, this is Joachim's daughter, right? And when she turns 12, they send out heralds and they say, look, we're gonna give her away by lot. God told us to. Right? Now, what do you think people do? They grab their rabdon. Wait a minute. You've been telling us, Simon, that a rabdon is a sacred instrument. It is. And it's something that you use within the collecting of the lots. Yeah. You let the God speak through the rod. Okay. Now, if he takes the form of a snake, don't be surprised. Okay. Don't be surprised. Give me the next one. It's gorgeous, people. This fits in so beautifully with the Gospel of Mark. The Gospel of Mark. I love it. Yeah. So Joseph took his rabdon, right? He had the last. Joseph ends up going there, right? Everybody runs. It was on that phrase before. I don't want to go back, but it was on that phrase before. It says, people just ran there. As soon as the herald trumpets went off and they said, hey, there's a lottery going on for a girl, right? Woo! Here we go. We're all running down. Says they ran there. Says they ran there. They didn't just get up and say, hey, they're having a sale tomorrow. Right? They didn't do that. They didn't say, why don't we get some coffee? No, they grabbed their rabdon and they ran, it says. Huffing and puffing, whole group. Even this dirty old guy, Joseph, shows up. What's our prize? Now, do you understand what's going on? This is very, very... We are, through the power of the voice that we hear when we take drugs, we are going to give this 12-year-old beauty right to one of you gents. You ready? Now, how are we going to do this? It's all religious, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to have a little ceremony. The ceremony makes everything right? We're going to have a ceremony, and you're going to get your rabdon. And when you grab it while the priest is offering and you're being fumigated, we're going to wait for a sign. We're going to read the signs. You mean this is Judaism? Yeah, this is Judaism. We're going to read the signs. And what are we going to do? While we're getting ready to sell this 12-year-old prostitute, what are we going to do? By the way, she's a great dancer. She's a great dancer. Anybody say Salome? Where's Salome? Oh, she'll be here in a minute. She's a great dancer, right? Like, people give their lives for this stuff. You don't understand, right? Once your eyes are open, man, okay, you need that cup of porneia. It's just a fact. You know how you get the cup of porneia? By the hand of the angel. By the hand of the angel. By the hand of the angel. Sorry. It's a little hard. It's a little hard to take. You know what I mean? Temple of Jerusalem, man. Temple of Jerusalem. They're technically still virgins, right? Technically, they're still virgins. Yeah. Give me the next one. You didn't think there was any oracle coming out of the Temple of Jerusalem, did you? But sure enough, there is, right? Yeah. So what happens? Joseph takes his rabdon, and look what happens. A peristera. What happens? A dove comes off of the rabdon and positions herself over his head. He got chosen. He got chosen by the prophetess herself. Do you understand? They're receivers. This is not the only place in Jerusalem where they're using the girls this way. This is something they pioneered in the Bronze Age. The Greeks brought us this technology through an extremely intelligent woman. Hail Satan. Hail Satan. Okay. Here we go. What's that say? You get a pornea. Right. Do you see people? Do you see people? It's that cup of pornea that is the ultimate downfall of Jehovah. This is what they're doing in the temple. You know why he doesn't have a wife now? Because his agents use hand on virgins to collect communion. Let's make something together in the temple. What kind of crafts can we do in the temple? Give me the next one. What kind of crafts can we do? So look at the word Parthenon. Parthenon. We're going to take this Parthenon and we're going to give her. Now that she did this as a dove, we're going to give her. She signified who it is, and it's Joseph. And he is going to have teresis. He is going to have guardianship over her. Over her. Now, does Joseph jump and shout about this because it was his? It was his, he was the dude that was selected, right? Did he look like grandpa or something? Maybe he looked like grandpa. He's not a spring chicken, right? Give it to me. Give it to me, the next one. And Joseph did what? Joseph answered and he said, look, I have sons already, right? He's already done the family thing. He says, I'm an old man, dude. This girl is young. She's young. That's reasonable. It's reasonable, right? No, it's not. The priest tells him, you shut up, man. You shut up. You got the lot. And you remember what happened to Korah? Those people, they got flushed down the earth toilet. What? Yeah. This is a famous story. Remember Moses? Moses is out there and all that kind of stuff. In the desert. He's doing the bush thing. It's like he's going gray. What's happening to that dude? He's freaking out. He's hearing that voice again. And he's guiding people. And part of the priesthood says, we're not going to follow that. We're going to do something a little bit different. And what happens? They all get together and they all bring fumigators. This place is one giant cloud and they're all looking for the signs because this is what the cult does in Jerusalem. They're looking for the signs. And what happens? There's an earth opening. Earth opens up. Huda Vuda, and boom, the earth opens up, swallows every one of them. So you shut up, Joseph, and you take this holy virgin who's been handed by the angel. We guarantee she is not pregnant. Okay. All right, let's get some midwives in here. We bring the midwives in. We need somebody to check this girl. By the way, where did the people go who rebelled? They went to Hades. Look at this phrase, people. They went to Hades. Don't let this lowercase alpha fool you, right? This is a very specific Greek thing. Do you know where you go if you are a Jewish priest and you stand up against the monist Moses? Do you know where you go? You go to Greek hell. Yeah. And they have the guts to say this thing is a translation, the Septuagint, right? No, it's not. This is right out of it, people. It's not a translation, people. It's not a translation. Let's see. What else do they do in the Temple of Jerusalem? This is getting gratuitous temple stuff. What are we doing here? Okay. Again, from James. So they get together. They have one of their meetings again. They say, what are we going to do about the temple curtain? Right? What are we going to do about it? Somebody's got to make it. One of the priests says, go out and get for me 7 virgins who have never had sex from the line of David. Virgins from a specific line. What? Wait. What do we need? Now, watch the anthropology here, people. What do we need to do? We need to make a giant curtain to cover up what's going on in the Holy of Holies, where the handing is handing. We're going to make some kind of, curtain, like those ones they used to have, when you go to the video store and walk in and whoosh, in the back section, you say, what's in here? It needs to be covered with a curtain. Covering with curtains calls for Penelope. Where is Penelope? Chewy, summon Penelope. It gets my goat when we have to create curtains. What are we covering with curtains? We're covering that which is the sin. It's the shame. You remember, Jesus died for that, kids. Jesus died for that shame. His cross covered up. Look, people, look at the cross of Jesus Christ and the shame that it covers. I love you, Penelope. Isn't she beautiful? Penelope's a beautiful goat. I love that. Is she? Yeah. Look at her. Look at that ear. Okay, give me the next one. I can appreciate goats. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? I know he told me not to, but it just leaked out. What's happening? So Mary picks up this cup, right? Did I finish that last one? I think I did. Let me just see for a minute. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I didn't. There's a lot more here, right? What are we going to do? No, the next one. There we no. The one that was right. Okay, here it is. What's happening, people? We're trying to make a curtain, right? For the temple to hide the naughty stuff. And the priest says, look, go out and get me 7 virgins who have never been defiled. Amiantus, right? They cannot have been touched. Get them from David's line, right? So his assistants, his administrators went out, right? Because this is all official stuff, right? They went out and they found 7. Actually, it says in parentheses, actually they found 6. Right? Because the priest remembered that this girl, Maria, from the tribe of David, that she was a virgin. Right? So they went to her and they took her and they brought her. And the priest said he said, let this be the portion. And what are they talking about? Let this be the lot. Whoever is going to sow, and when I say sow, I don't mean like seed. Whoever is going to do the weaving, the actual creation of this curtain, we need the dyed threads. And who does the dyeing? The virgins do the dyeing. Hebrew virgins do the dyeing. It's why their fingers are purple. She didn't start to hear things until later, right? You have to start using the substance in order to get the voice of God. Love it. Oh, angels, right? Those touchy angels. Welcome to reality. Yes, exactly. So what did they do? He says that the priest remembered that there's this virgin, They went and got her, you know what I mean? And they brought her in and they said, we're going to do this lot thing, right? What kind of threads do we need, right? First of all, we need the cloth that is that fine linen, and we need some silk. And all of this stuff has to be stainless. And we're going to take the gold and the blue thread, and we're going to take the red thread, and that's scarlet colored, scarlet colored thread. And what else? Somebody's got to work with the alethine porphyron. And there, speaking from the library in Herculaneum, is the porphyria, is the purple. The purple. And what happens? Mary gets the lot for the scarlet and the purple. Isn't that gorgeous? Mary gets the lot for the scarlet and the purple. Yeah. Okay. Give me the next one. What does she do with it? What does she do it? Well, she's got to come up with the threads for this thing. She is the thread maker, the thread stainer, the baptizer. So what does it say? She goes back home. She picks up this cup. She goes to fill it with water. She started working the purple. You can see her purple fingers. When all of a sudden, she's walking out to get water, voice in her head. What does the voice say? Now, it says, behold a voice. And I'm going to translate it to you. The voice said, hey there. Hey there, hottie. God likes you more than any other woman. Wait, what? Yeah. Turns out she's exalted. This is what, now what happens? Now watch this. Here's the anthropology. And it says, and she turned right and turned left, trying to find where that voice came from. Right? She doesn't know. Nobody else heard it. Anybody else around her didn't know. And what happens? She gets scared. It says, Kai intromos kinomene apelte. She left the place shaking. Right? It's really shaking her up, man. She's heard the voice. And the voice has said, she is a hottie. Inappropriate voices for a girl who is now aging between 12 and 15 in the narration. Okay? This is an underage girl that God finds to be the most, to have that greatest, hottest. You know what I'm talking about, the hottest. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Aphrodite walks around. That stuff just follows her. It just follows her. Okay. Let's do this. Give me the next one. Are you ready for this? What happens? And look, an angel of the Lord. Okay. So she goes inside. She goes back to her work with the purple. When suddenly what happens? An angel of the Lord shows up again. Boom. Poop. Saying what? Me phobu. Don't be afraid. Right? Another voice. Don't be afraid, Maria. Right? You found some lovey-dovey favor before God, and you're going to conceive a child just from his logos. Seriously. So it goes on to say, so Mary, hearing this, responded, right? Okay. You're going to get pregnant, says the voice in Mary's head while she's using the purple. Okay. Remember, she is still a temple prostitute. Once a temple prostitute, always respected as a temple prostitute. That's why Joseph is going to be so upset. Give me the next one. Let's see what his kind of, well, I want you to make sure that you understand this from her perspective. This is Mary here, and she says, am I gonna conceive? Is this going to be the same way all the other women conceive? Right. Poor kid. Right. It's a teenager, dude. Right. Come on, man. Come on. It's too much. Give me the next one. And what is the voice's answer? It says, it just speaks out again, right? It's not like they're sitting there on a bench together. She's talking to the voice that's in her head. And what does the voice say? It says to her, right? Hey, Miriam, right? The power, it's not going to work out. He says, uhutos, right? It's not going to work out like you're saying. Here's what's going to happen. The power of God is going to episkiazo you. And when it does that, you're going to become pregnant. And what's going to come out of you is going to be called a huios hupsistu, a son of the highest, those groves where in the mountains they give the oracles. He's going to be the Son of God. Okay? All right? The whole Son of God, the Christos, is part of a mystery operation. It's the same reason Medea is trying to burn the mortality off her own children. Right? It is an advancement. If you are Ho Christos, give it to me. Give me the next one. I love feeding people stuff that they've never had. I love feeding people. What did Mary do? What was her job? Are you ready? What does the priestess do? She makes or processes the purple. Next one. She makes or processes the purple. And behold, what happened? Now, this is going to throw you. Mary goes away from this event of the hearing of the voices and the, knowledge, the learning that she's going to have a holy child, right? And what does she do? She forgets. As soon as she's not under the influence again, there's some kind of amnesia, and she forgets and has to be reminded by those who were around her when she was in the purple's influence. Oh, God. Don't you love that? She totally forgets. She totally forgets. Now do you see why they didn't want to be in the Bible? It was initially. They took it out. Do you see why? Because it shows everything they were doing. Everything with the sex cult, right? It's not new, man. It's happening all over. Okay. So, and I want you to pay special attention to line 2. Second line, look at the third word, mysterion. It's mystery operations that Mary is learning. You thought, let me guess. You thought she was just some kid who was sitting there, nice. She's a virgin, probably a really nice girl. When all of a sudden an angel came to her, dun, 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 whoop, wings, and whoop, says, God's going to have sex with you. And the spirit is going to, what? It's going to scotiazzo. Do you know what God does to Mary? It's a verb that means to bring a shadow upon somebody in order to hide them. Do you know why Jehovah, who is naughty, has to always hide his paramours? Yeah. Do you know why he has to hide them? It's that overshadowing act that makes that 12-year-old sing that they're using. Okay? Do you understand the Bible now? The gospel of James. Give it to me. Oh, God. More mystery, people. I just want you to see. So she turns 15. She goes through this process, ends up being 15, right? When these mysteries start manifesting themselves. Give me the next one. She's 15. So how old is Mary when God overshadows her? That is, brings her into the darkness. Right? Do you think Jehovah knows how to use hand? Yeah, he does. But that's not all he does. Yeah, because she gets pregnant. She gets pregnant. And do you know why Joseph is so upset that God has gotten her pregnant? Because that's the vessel of the communion. It's the vessel of the communion by the hand of the angel. She's given the way. Sorry, made myself a little queasy again. Okay, what's going to happen here, people? Let me just hit this really quick. Joseph comes home and he finds out why. He's some kind of dummy or something, right? Because he didn't notice until she's like in this hectos main. She's already in the 6th month. And he doesn't notice it. Anyway, this says it's in the sixth month and she's onkomenen. She is swelling and he can tell. And he says, oh God. And he hits his own face. Right? Imagine that being your first reaction. It's got to be bad if you punch yourself in the face, right? He punches himself in the face and he throws himself on the ground. And he starts screaming. What happened? What happened? Why have you offended God like this? Yeah. What's happened to this girl? She was a virgin. Right? I took her from the temple. I was guarding her. Somebody fooled me. Somebody stuck in her and did something dirty. Soiled this virgin in my own house. You know what they're going to say? You know how the story goes. I'm still translating. You know how the story goes. Adam is just like Adam. He was giving his doxology to God, and the serpent, the devil, came in and he took Eve when she was all alone. And he loved her. And do you know what happened? They conceived. Just like Mary. Do you know why the Garden of Eden is the Garden of Eden? Because of this rite. Remember when Jesus took Mary from his side? He self-pleasured. In his hand, he gave her his seed and he said, eat this. What's that, Chewy? Right. Yeah. No, a different Mary. This is, sorry. Chewy's having a hard time keeping track. Right. No, this is the Mary that he took out in the woods and he was like, and the text says that she got all creeped out. Chewy, right? Some Jesus ever comes along. Watch out, Chewy. Don't let somebody take you backwoods and do something like Jesus did to Mary. Eat this. Right? Can you believe that? No wonder it says she was scared. Right? Guys, disturbing. All of you who love Jesus, did you know there's an account of him engaging in a sexual act with a known prostitute who's got the drugs that'll blow your mind? He's ejaculating and asking her to eat it so that she can have ionic life. Do you know what that means? There's something in it, Jesus. There's something in it. Tell me, Jesus, what is in the seed? What is in the seed of Jesus? You know what my seed does? It conquers your seed. Because ammoniakon is the name. It's the name of the plant. It's a tube, and it carries the fire of Prometheus. That's the ammoniakon. Do you love that? I love that. Okay. Let's stop whipping Jesus and finish off here. Make sure, here, people, we got to finish strong. Let's finish strong. So Mary's trying to hide the fact that she's pregnant because it's, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, right? And so he wants to know what happened here, right? He reminds Joseph, makes sure he reminds Mary, who's now pregnant, and he's trying to get it out of her who the hell the father is. He says, remember, you're the one who did all that stuff in the temple. That's a really exalted position, right? This is not good what has happened, right? You took that way. You entered into the dance, right? Wasn't supposed to happen. Next one. Wasn't supposed to happen. So she starts crying, right? Because this old dude is yelling at her. He's not even her father, right? Right? He's just an old dude. He's, got her by lot, and she's been handed in the temple, and is using the purple. So she starts crying and she says, look, God's my living witness. I'm totally kathara. I'm totally clean on this one. Right. And I have never had intercourse with a dude. Okay. She's a virgin. You have to have the virgins to produce the communion, right? Once they're no longer virgins, they don't produce. Right? It's just this is an economics thing. If you're working for the temple at Jerusalem, it's an economics thing, right? Now you understand why all the tax stuff is with the prostitution, right? It's all part of the economy. Let's see what so she swears that she's not, she hasn't had sex, you know what I mean? And he then considers, look, and remember, put yourself in Joseph's spot and consider you've got two options as this dude who just got allocated one of these temple prostitutes that gets handed, right? Gets handed by the angel. He says, I can either take her and have her killed. Oh, God. Seriously? Right? But I don't want to do that because what's inside of her may be angelikon. He knows. He knows about the process. And he knows what could be there. Right? Just like Medusa. He knows. This tradition of priestesses having sex with God is old. By the time this stuff is going on with Mary, this stuff is established by 1,000 years, more than 1,000. Okay? It's nothing new. Give me the next one. We're going to end up here. So what happens? She starts having dreams. Right? She starts having dreams. Joseph starts having dreams. They're hearing voices. God is telling him what to do. Just keep going. Right? You're going to have this kid. He's going to save the world. Right? This is going to be the son of the highest. And everything tonight is brought to you by the Coluria. We have here at Ancient Farm Corps, we have managed to come up with a medication that you can insert into your cavities when you feel the need for a coluria. Here it is. All right. Which cavity? Don't worry. Give me the next one. Who is this? That was a little commercial. I want you people to see, the reason I'm doing commercials is I want you to see the actual products that are being produced. Because if you can see what a society produces, it can tell you a lot more than dirt levels in the archaeology. It's way better. There's a way more in the literature than there ever is going to be in the dirt. And what happens? So the priest says, give us back, right? They've heard that she's pregnant. And they say, give us back our virgin. Wait a minute. What? Who owns this kid? Don't you remember? She's a princess. Temple wants her back. You defiled. She was just for the communion. She wasn't for getting pregnant. Now she's ruined. You boneheads. And what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen? Well, he gets all upset. Joseph is all like, oh. He gets all upset and he's all crying and stuff. Right? And he's standing there with the priest, right? And the priest says, I tell you what, because Joseph, he's already been screaming, I didn't do it. It's miraculous. Right? Okay. So what's going to happen? Oh, the priest has a test. He says, let's test this. Let's see if this child is the son of God. Do you know we spent an entire play of Euripides? We spent an entire play of Euripides trying to figure out whether or not that kid was divine. You are in antiquity. Give me the next one. We got like 4 more people. That's it. I know it's a long time and I appreciate. Are you ready? So the priest, what did he do? He said in the earlier one, by the way, I forgot. I was going too fast. Look at here. Never rush people when you're in the moment. He says, I'm going to make you drink the water of the Lord's retribution. Oh, that doesn't sound good, bro. I don't know if I want to do that. And I'm going to send you out into the mountains, and your sin is going to be present in your eye. Right? What? Wait, what? Is this? See, I want you to make sure that you see this. We've got how do we get here? We've got a 15-year-old girl now who is pregnant, who was the vessel for the communion. And we've got a dude, a priest, who's saying, Joseph, she wasn't supposed to get pregnant. And we've got Joseph all like bawling and saying, I didn't do it. It was divine. So how are we going to solve this? How are we going to solve this, people? People, this is first century stuff. First century stuff. How are we going to? We're going to give this dude a drug and send him out of the wilderness. And what is wrong that he has done is going to become obvious to him. He's going to know himself. Well, what happens? They do this to him and the girl, and they both come back. Give me the next one. They both come back. And where are they? They're in the same place. They're holokleros. Now, what is that? This is a Greek word that you're not going to understand, but the best way, right? I don't understand it, but it's a state. I'll describe it to you like I know it. Maybe you can figure it out. It is a state of wholeness. So the drug is supposed to flush your guilt to the surface so that it comes out of you and you express it, you acknowledge it, you repent of it, right? But they come back holokleros with that complete sorte, that complete observation of the signs. They're totally innocent. They line up. They are that completion. So when God overshadowed her, that was legitimized through giving people a drug and reading the signs. So the priest says, well, I can't condemn them because the signs show that they are not telling a lie. That is the truth. Now, the Magi are interrogating people like this all the time. So don't think this is anything odd. It's not odd to give somebody a drug to bring out what the actual, to have them confess or bring out the truth. The Magi are doing this. Check out Plenty. He talks about it, baby. Love it. And what happens here? Oh, God. So Joseph finds a cave where she can give birth, right? And he tells the sons, stay here. I kind of feel bad for him at this point, right? He's just been absolved of having had intercourse with the virgin vessel of the communion and ruining her. So he's okay, right? He's been through it. He's just been right. The guy probably looks terrible, right? He's been beaten up in this process. And what does he do? What does he do? He says, hey, guys, stay here. Take care of the virgin. Don't let anybody touch her, right? I'm going to go out and find a midwife. And in parentheses, you see the word Ibrayan, a Hebrew midwife, right? From Bethlehem, right? Remember the Hebrew virgins? Well, the Hebrew midwives are connected with the Hebrew virgins. Yeah. And what happens? A midwife comes to the cave, right? Because he goes out and he finds Salome, and he's wait, what happens? And he went out from the cave, and the midwife ran into Salome, right? So the midwife gets the report in the meantime. What I'm not showing you, that he finds a midwife. Midwife gets a report. And the midwife is so shocked, she's going to go to Salome, and she says to Salome, Salome, wait, I've got this new thing, this new phenomena I got to explain to you. We got this Parthenos, and she's conceived, right? Isn't that cool? Now, when I say new thing, I don't mean like it's the first time it's ever happened. Yeah, I mean miraculous. This is a novelty. This is not normal. This is a novelty. And we've got a girl and she's pregnant. And what is, and she hasn't had sex, right? With a dude. So it's divine. And what does the Salome run out and do? Because she's a midwife too. And she says, hey, I'm not going to believe it until I palpate her, right? I have to palpate her. For those of you who don't know what palpating somebody is, I used to palpate cows at the dairy, right? You're checking to see if they're pregnant. It's like a pregnancy test, right? It's also used in health and checkups and whatnot too. You're looking at the cervix or something. You're palpating. What is palpating? You're introducing your fingers so that you can feel the physical structures. That's why they call it palpating, right? Fantastic. So the midwife says, I'm not going to believe this junk until I can palpate, right? And so what does she do? She goes in and she palpates her, right? And she finds that cave, right? Boom. And Salome, and she says, Maria, she says, get ready. Salome comes in and she's like, Maria, okay, get ready, assume the position, which I think is interesting because Mary knows. It's the position of accessing via fingers. She's been in the temple learning for how many years? She knows the position. People, do you see? There are positions in this creepy thing. Take the position. She tells her, assume the position. She takes the position. You know what I mean? And she thoroughly examines her. Salome thoroughly examines her. And what does she do? She cries out, hallelujah, alaladzo. What does she do? She does that shout that all of those followers of Diana do when they bring the drugs that produce the birth. Alaladzo. It is. She's right. The child of God. Right? What does she say? She says, oh, I'm such an idiot. Right? I'm so lawless. I'm so faithless for not following this God. Right? The living God. And look what's happened now. She pulls her hand out and she says, my hands are burned up in the fire. Her hand that she stuck in there was burnt. Chemically burnt. Chemically burnt. Now we're going to have a son of God. Now we're going to have a son of God. And do you know what happens then? It's competition, bro. It's competition. Give me the last one. Give me the last one. Boom. What are we really looking at? A lot of money. A lot of money. Do you know what this says? This says EO. And by the way, do you notice, my Greeklings? Do you notice that this name, Eoakim? Do you notice that it begins with EO? People say this is a foreign name. No, it's not. What does this verse say? It says, he is rich. Mary's daddy is rich as hell. He is rich as he can be. He is as rich as he can be. It only makes sense. It only makes sense that she ends up with the purple. It only makes sense. You know what you can do? You can cause somebody to enter into a state where they can talk to God. We can do this. Do you know what religion did this? Judaism. Judaism did this. Their practices in the temple are the practices of child traffickers. That's what they're called by contemporary documents. Okay? It's not me. It's what they are called by contemporary documents. All right. What I've showed you tonight, I just want to process for you. What I've showed you tonight is the origin of Jewish religion, the origin of monism among the people who inhabited the Levant. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an ethnic group immigrating. Known, we know that. Immigrating from Crete and establishing a religion. And what does that religion ultimately get expressed as? It gets expressed in the 3rd century. In the mind. It gets expressed as Moses being in that same telesterion performing those same acts. Can somebody please stop the eunuch boys? Can somebody please put an end? In comes Jesus. Gangsta G will do it. Why? Because his mommy was the one who was getting handed. Thank you for coming tonight. I've showed you a world of darkness. It's the world of reality. And I, once again, invite any of you to step forward and defend your disgusting rituals. Hail Satan.
666 on bows, my rich on purple dough. 666 on bows, my rich on purple dough. Welcome to Babylon. You might not know the names of the streets you're on. The road was paved with gold. The people sold their souls for a briefcase full of dope. The kids got turned to soap. Bitch, these streets, they ain't no joke. Oxycontin got you sniffing Ajax. James Brown, bitch, this is a payback. My witch will give a kick on her broomstick, flying through the sky, full moon, shine and shine. These drugs are really strong, they'll fuck you all night long. Puff puff on the bong, Irish witch like Cheech and Chong. Old school riding, listen to my favorite songs. Cubism, liquid smoke, it's hot in here. This place is on fire, I'm glad you made it. Give me some loving. Lunatics on the grass. 666 Medusa. Zombie junk. Bending corners. Black magic voodoo. 666 on bows. My witch on purple dough. 666 on bows. My witch on purple dough.